There is a place in northern Iran where the very ground you walk on emits radiation so intense that it would cause the safety protocols of any modern nuclear power plant to immediately collapse. In Ramsar, on the coast of the Caspian Sea, natural radioactivity levels reach marks 200 times higher than what science considers the extreme limit for human survival. In any other coordinate on the globe, this would be a mass evacuation scenario, a sterile wasteland of silence and death. But here, the streets pulse with a vitality that defies every page of medical textbooks. The paradox haunting international researchers is that, instead of a trail of terminal illnesses and genetic mutations, Ramsar is home to one of the healthiest and longest living populations on the planet. Scientists who arrived in the city, expecting to find an open-air morgue, were met with a phenomenon that modern science still cannot fully explain. Human beings who seem to have become biologically immune to what should be an invisible death sentence. We are crossing the frontier of a dead zone that refused to die and decided to rewrite the laws of biology. While the world flees from any trace of radiation, the inhabitants of Ramsar live, sleep, and raise their children on natural deposits of radon-222 bubbling from the depths of the earth. The air they breathe and the walls of the homes where they shelter carry a radioactive load that would turn your DNA into fragments within months. Yet, they walk under the sun with a disturbing tranquility, carrying in their veins the secret of a cellular resistance that could be the key to our species' future in the universe, proving that life, when pushed to the limit, finds paths our technology has barely begun to dream of. Unlike Chernobyl or Fukushima, the danger in Ramsar did not come from human error or mechanical failure. It is a brutal geological heritage. The soil of the Mazandaran province is rich in radioactive limestone, fed by thermal waters that have brought radium from the depths of the earth to the surface for millennia. This means the radiation isn't just in one specific spot. It is impregnated in everything. In the bricks of the houses, in the vegetables that sprout from the earth, and even in the dust children kick up while playing. It is a total, constant, and inescapable exposure, where the simple act of existing is equivalent to undergoing hundreds of chest X-rays every year, without any interval for the body to rest. When the first Geiger counters were brought to the region, the needles simply maxed out. The background radiation levels in Ramsar are the highest ever recorded in an inhabited area in Earth's history. To a Western scientist, living there would be the equivalent of committing slow suicide, yet the blood tests of the locals tell a completely different story. By analyzing the DNA of this population, geneticists discovered that they possess a surprisingly low rate of chromosomal aberrations, often much lower than people living in areas with zero radiation. It is a slap in the face to traditional medicine that still leaves us without definitive answers. The explanation may lie in a biological mechanism called hormesis, where the body, when subjected to a constant dose of toxic stress, develops a superhuman repair capacity. In Ramsar, people's cells seem to have activated an army of enzymes that guard the DNA 24 hours a day, correcting any error or mutation at the exact moment it occurs. It's as if their immune system has been trained on a nuclear battlefield for hundreds of generations, resulting in a lineage of humans that not only resists radiation, but may actually need it to keep its defense system on high alert. This phenomenon has transformed Ramsar into a sacred laboratory for space agencies and cancer institutes around the globe. If we can understand how to transfer this cellular programming to others, we could theoretically create a cancer vaccine or allow astronauts to travel to Mars without frying their internal organs under cosmic radiation. The people of this Iranian city are not just residents of a high-risk zone. They are the prototypes of a future humanity survivors of a natural experiment, showing that our biology is far more plastic and resilient than fear allows us to believe. Living in Ramsar means ignoring fear in the name of tradition and beauty. The same thermal waters that emit alarming levels of radon are a favorite destination for tourists and locals seeking relief from body aches and relaxation. There is a poetic irony in seeing the elderly dipping into radioactive pools with the same natural ease as someone taking a sun bath. To them, radiation is not an invisible monster. It is an element of the landscape, as natural as the Caspian Sea that bathes their shores. They drink the water, grow food in the hot earth, and breathe the heavy air without the shadows of hypochondria that dominate the rest of the modern world. The houses, often built with local limestone stones that are true sources of radiation, shelter families with impressive longevity rates. While the outside world debates the dangers of living near cell towers or antennas, the people of Ramsar walk on soil that metaphorically glows with natural nuclear energy. There is a resilient calm in their routine, a refusal to be treated as guinea pigs or victims of a geographical tragedy. For a resident of Ramsar, the danger is not in the soil that sustains them, but in the lack of understanding from those looking in from the outside, trying to place labels of death on a place that exudes vitality. NASA's obsession with Ramsar is not scientific hyperbole. It is a necessity for survival in space exploration. The biggest obstacle to colonizing other planets is not fuel or distance, but the deadly deep space radiation that destroys human cells within days. By studying the residents of Ramsar, scientists are searching for the genetic switch that allows DNA to repair itself so efficiently. Understanding the secret of these people is, literally, obtaining the passport for humanity to leave Earth and walk among the stars without carrying a biological death sentence. However, this search for answers raises ethical dilemmas that challenge our morality. We are observing a population that has adapted organically over thousands of years, and attempting to replicate this in a lab through genetic manipulation or cutting-edge therapies could have unpredictable consequences. What happens if we try to force the human body to become radio-resistant? Would we be creating a new subspecies, or simply accelerating an evolution that nature has already solved in Ramsar? International interest is voracious, but the answer may be far more complex than a simple gene sequence we can just copy and paste. Beyond genetics, there is the environmental impact, or rather, the impact of how the world views Iran in this context. While global powers discuss uranium enrichment and political sanctions, Ramsar remains a silent reminder that the country's greatest nuclear force is natural and lies in the blood of its people. The city refuses to be seen as an aberration. They take pride in their health and their magical land. The conflict between predatory scientific interest and respect for local culture creates an invisible tension, where inhabitants are often seen more as data on a spreadsheet than as human beings with stories and traditions. The study of Ramsar may ultimately teach us that our vision of what is healthy is extremely limited. Perhaps the sterility and excessive safety of the modern world are atrophying our innate capacity for adaptation. While we try to protect ourselves from everything, the residents of Ramsar embrace the most hostile environment on Earth and emerge stronger. They are the ultimate reminder that life does not seek comfort. It seeks to overcome. The secret of the stars may not be in the sky, but hidden in the thermal waters and radioactive soil of a small town the rest of the world is still afraid to visit. In the end, Ramsar forces us to question everything we think we know about the limits of our own bodies. We spend our lives trying to avoid risks, fleeing from anything that sounds dangerous, while an entire city shows us that fear can be a bigger obstacle than radiation itself. It is fascinating and, at the same time, a bit terrifying to realize that the cure for our greatest weaknesses might be hidden in exactly what we fear most. Ramsar is not just a place on the map. It is a reminder that human resilience is much deeper and more mysterious than any medical manual dares to admit. But what about you? Would you have the courage to spend a week in Ramsar, dipping into its thermal waters and sleeping in houses that emit more radiation than a nuclear power plant? Or do you believe the risk, even camouflaged by the health of the locals, is too high to be ignored? Leave your comment below. I want to know if you see Ramsar as a miracle of nature or a silent time bomb. If this journey through the impossible has kept you here until now, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. In the next video, we will visit a place where nature decided to erase the traces of humanity in a much darker way. See you then.